coasters and amusement parks. How about you? I'm Miss Nona, the Story Lady, and this week we're talking about the rides in the amusement parks. I'm sure you'll go to one over the summer, or maybe you have last summer, or maybe next summer. This book is called A Carousel Tale, and it's written by Elisa Clevin. I like the carousel too. Go round and round and round. Ernst, a young blue crocodile, loved the carousel in the park. Every day he would say hello to the wooden animals. His favorite was the honey-colored dog. "You always ride the dog," said Ernst's big brother Saul one day. "Why do you like him so much?" "His coat is sunny," said Ernst, "and his eyes are bright, and his tail really wags." "It's not wagging," said Saul. "It's just loose. The carousel keeper should tighten it." "I like the way it wags," said Ernst. He gave the dog a hug, and the dog gave Ernst a ride, just like he always did. Around and around they flew. That looks like fun. But the next day, when Ernst came to visit, the carousel was all covered up. "Where are the animals?" Ernst asked the carousel keeper. "They're safe inside that tent," she said, "snug and dry for winter. Don't worry, Ernst. You'll see your dog again in spring." Ernst started for home, kicking an old scrap of wood as he went. After a few kicks, he saw that it wasn't just any old scrap. It was the dog's tail. "What happened?" he asked. The tail just lay there like a big wooden question mark. "Oh, that poor dog, he lost his tail." Ernst hurried back to the carousel keeper. "Look, the dog lost his tail." "Oh, no," she said. "I must have knocked it off while I was working." "Can you put it back on?" asked Ernst. "Not now, I'm afraid. Everything's all sealed up." "But the dog needs his tail," said Ernst. "I have an idea," said the carousel keeper. "Why don't you keep the tail until the weather warms up again? Then we'll put it back on the dog." Ernst held the tail close. "I'll take good care of it," he promised. I bet he does, too. "What have you got there, Ernst?" asked Saul when Ernst arrived home. "The carousel dog's tail," said Ernst. "It fell off. The carousel keeper said I could take care of it until spring." "Wow, that's important," said Saul. "Lucky you." But Ernst didn't feel so lucky. The tail made him feel sad. It looked lonely without its dog. He set the tail on a shelf with his toys. The tail looked lonelier than ever. See the tail sitting there? It does look kind of lonely. Ernst decided to cheer it up. He gave the tail bright eyes, a smile, feathery wings, and a big curly tail of its own. How happy the tail looked now! What's it look like? Looks kind of like a bird, doesn't it? "Ooh," said Saul when he saw it. "Where did that pretty bird come from?" "I made it," said Ernst, "out of the dog's tail." "Ernst," said Saul, "you were supposed to take care of the tail, and now you've covered it with paper and paint, and the tail isn't even yours." "It looked lonely," said Ernst. "I'll turn it back into a tail when the carousel opens up. I'll take off the feathers and wash off the paint." "You'd better," said Saul. Ernst patted his bird, glad that spring was a long way off. That night, Ernst made the bird its own little carousel. Look at that! Isn't that fun? He took an umbrella and all his toys. And in the days to come, he did his best to keep it happy. Oh, he sang to it and fed it meals. Together they played in the falling snow. Together they flew through Ernst's dreams. That would be a fun dream. And after a while, Ernst almost forgot that his bird had ever been a tail. But one morning, looks like it's spring again, doesn't it? Ernst saw his old friend the dog flying around and around, and then he remembered. "You're in trouble now," said Saul. "What are you going to do?" Before Ernst could answer, the carousel keeper came over to greet him. "Hi, Ernst, come on down. Your dog will be glad to see you again. Did you take good care of his tail?" "I tried to," Ernst replied. "I think so. I'm not sure." "Not sure?" asked the carousel keeper. Ernst held out his bird. "I turned the tail into this." Ernst thought the tail looked lonely, said Saul. "Oh my," said the carousel keeper. "My goodness. I can wash off the feathers and paint," offered Ernst. The carousel keeper looked into the bird's bright eyes. She stroked its rainbow tail. "You'll do no such thing," she said. "This is a wonderful bird you've made, as lovely as any carousel animal. Why don't you take it for a ride?" "But the dog still needs his tail," said Ernst. The carousel keeper nodded. "Yes, he does," she said. "I'll see what I can do." "He's waited so long," said Ernst. "I'll see what I can do, too." Ernst started for home, kicking along an old branch as he went. After a few kicks, he saw that it wasn't just any old branch. Ernst snatched it up as if it were a puzzle piece, and he knew just where it belonged. "Look!" he cried, running back to the carousel keeper. "Look what I found!" The carousel keeper laughed. "A tail! A perfect tail for the dog!" "I bet it'll fit just fine." Ernst and the carousel keeper trimmed and sanded and varnished the tail and drilled a tiny hole in it and attached it to the dog, tight enough so that it wouldn't fall off, but not so tight that it wouldn't wag. There's the bird. Then together, again in the soft spring air, they flew around and around. Look at that. The dog has a tail, and Ernst still has his friend the bird. The end.